Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Welcome to my show. Well, I always said that they don't make movies out of people who were born rich, had no adversity, and died rich. Nobody would watch that movie. We watch movies like Rocky and Million Dollar Baby and people that overcame obstacles. And my next guest is Dr. Elida Dakoli. She is a true inspiration. She's changing the world one note at a time. She's a classical pianist, and she just has an amazing story and an amazing school. And I will let you tell us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. My absolute pleasure to be here.
We're going to get into your music school in a minute, but would you share with my audience your childhood and what you overcame?
Oh, I was born in Albania, back then a communist country. And my family, of course, went through quite a bit. I would say by my mother's side, my great-grandfather was a congressman, the founder of the first Congress, one of the members of the first Congress. He was mayor of my city, Duras. He was very known in charity, an attorney overall. He was killed while walking with his son, my grandfather, in the street right before communism took over. So before communism took over, they eliminated the elite of the country, the most important people, so they had an easier way in. And my great-grandfather was one of those people. My grandma, by my mother's side, my grandmother had to raise, I apologize, by my father's side, my grandmother had to raise her 4 children alone, the youngest one being 1 year old and my father being 3, because my grandfather, just because he was a businessman, a successful one, was imprisoned because they went to take all of our properties. Many were destroyed for archaeological reasons, hoping that there would be some kind of gold underground. Back then, they used to keep money underground and valuable things. And she was taken away from her own house. One of her brothers actually took over and opened a room for her and her children to live in that house. So my family, my father grew up without a father for no reason, and we were not allowed to talk about them. We were not allowed to have their pictures. My great-grandfather's name was in the street, and he was called Enemy of the People. So the Enemy of the People was killed here. It was written in big heart. So it was quite
it was traumatic as a child.
Very traumatic as a child to see that. Of course, today that street holds his name. However, it was very hard for me to understand why this should happen to us.
And you say that music changed or saved your life.
Well, music was, starting at age 6, music was one of my best friends. I'd call my friend that was with me through life forever, and it's still here, and it's still a very important part of my life and my family nowadays. But yes, any chance I had, I would focus into practicing and was able to express myself very well.
Well, we're going to treat the audience to just a little clip of you in concert. Wow, so beautiful. And she just pointed out that she was 7 months pregnant at the time. How many children do you have?
I have 3 children,
Three
ages
children.
8, 6, and 2.
Wow.
So.
And are they taking up music?
Yes, my oldest one loves music, and he actually plays quite a bit by ear and tries to compose. He is playing piano, guitar, and voice, actually sings quite well. My 6-year-old is studying piano, and then the 2-year-old acts like plays piano and guitar.
That's awesome. Well, tell me about D.M.A, Texas, because this is your school, this is your baby.
Yes, it's my 4th child. D.M.A, Texas started as a need, I would say. I always had friends ask me, Elida, can you teach my child? Can you see how my child is doing? And so, you know, when you have children of your own, you want to invest a certain amount of time into your children once that they finish school. So I decided to hire very professional teachers as well as artist performers, classically trained, and that's how it started. Then in 2018, in August actually 2018, we started with one of the private schools, the Lamplighter School. I saw a need for a music program there, after-school music program, and very quickly I realized that there is quite a big need into the private schools in the Dallas area for music programs. So we developed it very fast. You know, word of mouth, schools communicate with one another, and so we are in some of the top private schools now, and the program is going great.
Wow. Well, I know that there are a lot of parents probably watching this thinking about what they can do to keep their child engaged during these summer months when sometimes they're all kind of hunkered down at home. How have you done during the pandemic? Are you doing virtual lessons, or how is it working?
Well, you know, they say you are just as good as the team that surrounds you, and I'm very fortunate. All of our teachers have artist diplomas as well as masters in performance or pedagogy, as well as doctoral degrees. So the moment that March 13th, when Dallas pretty much shut down, if I may say, I connected with my faculty, and many of our teachers actually teach internationally online, so this was not something new for us. It was something new for our parents. However, we transitioned very easily online. So we are happy to teach online. Many parents, actually, I've had parents that said, this is the best thing that we have these days.
Wow.
And I'm very thankful for, you know, for their honesty. But so we're teaching, actually, we're starting a subscription as well, classes, online classes, and also, you know, the younger kids, starting at 6 months old, they need music in their lives and not just from the TV. So we are building classes to where we have subscription-wise with the parents, mommy and me type class, to where the music is very related to the child and where they can learn very easily, and then they can be in touch with the teacher as well.
Yes.
So basically subscription as well as the connecting online with the teacher.
I think that's so awesome. We're going to roll a little bit more video of you playing, and I want to continue interviewing you about the gift that music gives to a child. It helps them in all facets of their life, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. It helps them. This one here, it's actually what we are known is that we do a lot of concerts for our students. I like to prepare them, develop them, you know, future leaders. All these private schools, you know, they pay quite a bit of money. They want to see their child build up for success and be in front of an audience. So we do, this is basically our faculty performs, and this is one of those concerts.
Oh, that's beautiful. And tell us how it helps a child. I guess it would probably, a shy child who has to perform will break out of their shyness, will they not?
Absolutely. We prepare them that way. One of my teachers, so adorable, she brings 6 or 7 plush toys and put them in front of the child as the audience. And
oh, that's delightful.
They get so used to it, to their audience friends, and that's how we start. And we are known to have several, you know, most of the schools have just one recital at the end of the year or at the end in May usually. in the spring semester. We're known having several recitals during the year. We have, of course, 2 recitals, one in May and one in December, and then throughout the year we have more. Our last recital before the pandemic was at Stanway Hall. So.
Wow.
And so, yeah, we encourage our students to be in front of an audience.
Well, I think you're so inspiring, and thank you for sharing your story with us. We're going to put your website up so everybody can connect with you.
That is my son.
Is that your son? There he is. D.M.A.Texas.com is the website. Dr. Dakoli, thank you so much for coming in.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.